It all started the day I went to my new office to sign the contract. I met the lovely receptionist who was talking to her husband.
I finish at 5, so I'll be there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Welcome to Parcel Passages. How can I help you? Ah, yes, we've got you down here. If you just make your way to the elevator and get off at the first floor, Mr. Matthews should be ready to see you in the interview room.
Although she was taken, her beauty dazzled me. You see, I had taken a job as an office administration assistant at Parcel Passages, a multinational courier company. The office was in a charming part of town. We had fantastic stores like Quick Groceries and Video Store right across from us. The tubular street lamps and the stiff electricity poles just added on to the charm. I was here to meet Frank Mathers, the head honcho of the company. He was at the first floor. I also found it very strange that this elevator only went up to the 9th floor, whereas the building had 16 floors in it. Quite puzzling if I do say so myself. On the first floor I walked past a degenerate-looking person, who later turned out to be my supervisor, Carl. Anyway, I met with Frank Mathers.
Don't worry, we don't need another interview. Being your first day and all, I would just like to run you through a few things. I'll start with a brief background on how the company operates. Parcel Passages is an international courier company. This building is the main headquarters, and we have hundreds.
Of course, since Frank had a British accent, I couldn't understand a word he was saying. Still, I nodded my head in agreement and followed him to the elevator. The thing was, this company had a health and safety test that all new hires had to go through. I was mentally prepared to go through the most rigorous training routine, and here it was, the test.
Well done! Now let's get back down and sign that contract.
The real story begins 6 months later, on one fateful night when Carl was blabbering about some random things I had no clue about. Apparently, terrorists had entered the building and started shooting the place up. They killed Tony. Tony was my only friend in this office, so now it was personal.
I want you to get up to the roof. Attached to the wall is a lever. If you pull that, the distress beacons will be activated, and then it'll only be a matter of time before the authorities arrive. Now go! Go!
I hated Carl, but he made sense. The intruders had disconnected the phone line, so I had to go to the rooftop and turn on the distress signal so the police could come over. Someone had already made it there. They tried to turn on the signal, but the intruders had also turned off the power, so now I had to go down and turn on the power.
You work here, right? I don't know what the hell is going on here tonight. I was cleaning the 3rd floor, and I saw these guys with guns on the security monitors. Dave told me to go here and switch these damn lights on while he went to get help. I pulled that lever over there, but it ain't doing nothing.
Also, the bit-crushed voice of these people made it really difficult for me to understand what the hell they were saying. I'm surprised I even lasted 6 months at this company. Going through the vents reminded me of my favorite movie, Die Hard, so in a way this was my wildest dream come true. I could also hear the bad guys through the vents, but again, they also had bit-crushed voices, so I couldn't understand them either.
We seem to be missing someone from this floor. According to the clock-in record, there were 2 people on this floor. That man we nailed on the stairs must have been one of them. But where's the other?
Shall I call it in?
Yeah, you do that. I'll go search the upper floors. You stay here until I come back.
Some might say me holding the flashlight was an irritating thing to do, but I'm not wearing some sci-fi spacesuit and I didn't really have any scotch tape on me, so I couldn't tape it to my shoulder. Now, this story had multiple routes and a big office to explore, but I found it kind of frustrating that I had to follow a very specific path. Otherwise, things would become very difficult for me. If you go through this story, remember, just keep going down and get off at the final vent, as that's the easiest path. Here I found my first weapon, an axe. Since I had worked as a firefighter before, I knew how to use an axe. Of course, nobody knew I was the one who started the fires in the first place, but that will be our little secret. I found the power jammer, so of course I destroyed it and the power was back. Now we could send out the signal. But of course, as I was about to head back, one of the terrorists was searching the floor, and so of course... I also had the power of quick saves and loads, so I decided to give it another try. Now, if I understand the laws of using guns, I was expecting there to be a crosshair in the middle like most first-person shooter games. I guess I wasn't trained enough to see it in my point of view. Anyway, I started to go floor by floor, shooting these evil bastards one at a time. It was fun. One thing I always liked about this office was how comfy looking it was. The low poly objects and the soft lighting on each floor gave it a really soothing feeling. About the crosshair, the lack of one made my shooting super inaccurate, and as a result, I got shot. A lot. For a story from 2007, this certainly was pretty delightful. It used completely custom assets like the weapon models, the character models, and of course, a lot of custom textures as well. One of the biggest differences came from the fact that this was not related to Half-Life at all, so that was nice. So I had cleared floor 9 till floor 16. Next, I was going to do a sweep from floor 8 to the ground floor. I saw this guy wanting to get a soda, so I snuck up to him from the back and shot him right in his booty. Oh yeah, I also had been shot up so much that just one pinch would kill me at this point. It was surprising that Parcel Passages had literally not a single medkit or medical station anywhere around the office building. On the floor below, I met the receptionist Jessica's husband, the security guard. He asks to search the lower floors and find Jessica and save her. I also tried to break these boxes in hopes I'd find a medkit, but apparently the cardboard boxes were made out of metal. On the 5th floor where the vault was, I heard the sounds of drilling and whatnot, so I guess that's what they were after.
Die!
Anyway, I did what the security guard asked me to do and started searching the 4th floor. From there, I went a floor below and got locked in one of the rooms.
How the hell did you end up in there? What the hell?
The building is now under our complete control. We are well aware of the employees that are in hiding, trying to stop us. And we have a message for one of you, a Mr. David Fulton.
Oh no, please don't be her.
Bring her here. Jessica, do you have any last words to say to your husband?
David, it's Frank behind us. We've got everyone captured.
No, leave her alone!
Yeah, I had no clue what the dude was saying on the speaker, but he did have Jessica with him, so of course we had to go save her.
Right, stay back. I'm gonna go and pull the pin on this grenade. Take cover. Okay, go, run, run! Take cover!
We picked up the radio and started to hear in on the conversations between the bad guys. Since the stairs were now blocked because of the explosion, I used one of the window lifts and made my way back to the rooftop. I got on the top of the elevator since the big bad guy of the terrorists was inside it. Then I went through a vent to a floor and unfortunately got captured.
Get him!
When I came to, turned out the boss of the terrorists was Frank Mathers. I always knew people with British accent were evil, and turns out I was right. Now again, I didn't understand what the hell he was saying, but all I got was that the bad guys were about to blow up the building.
We're moving the last dash of the money.
Ah, at last. Let me know when you're done.
From the stairs, I heard there were people asking for help on the 2nd floor. I could have done multiple things there. I could have go down to the car park, into the sewers, head out through the drain ladder, but there's a high chance I would get hit by a car. Or I could go through the secret tunnel and make my escape there, leaving my fellow co-workers to die. No, I'm not that kind of guy. I never was. I made my way to the second floor to help those poor people in distress, and turns out they had killed Jessica.
Jessica!
Dave,
Jessica,
don't
where
go
are
in there.
you?
Please, don't go in there.
Jessica?
She's dead,
Are
Dave.
you okay?
They killed her. I tried to stop her. I'm so sorry.
Why?
And that's what happened. After trying our best, Frank Mathers got away scot-free, and me and my fellow colleagues died in the explosion. And that's how it happened. That's how the Rad has died. Okay, yeah, so let's get off the whole narration thing now. Night at the Office is a classic mod for many people. I think it started development back in around 2003 and was finally released in 2007. Now, many people who played it back then will still have fond memories of it because it offered a really interesting story, a new premise, something that wasn't connected to the Half-Life franchise like most mods are. However, playing it again now, I now see the cracks in this somewhat charming experience. First, the voice acting just felt very muffled and hard to hear, so I really wish the mod had subtitles. Then there being no medkits or anything like that was a very sharp difficulty curve, especially when you're playing on hard mode. And finally, since there is no crosshair, it's hard to aim with the guns since they are custom models. And they're also a little bit skewed. However, I do appreciate the mod using custom models for the AK and the shotgun. I also really like the somewhat open nature of going through each of the floor and figuring out what to do, even if it's a little bit cryptic in some cases. I would definitely say try this mod out. The original mod will work too, but if you're looking for a more enhanced or easy experience, there's also a remod of this mod that basically updates everything, but I feel like it loses its original charm in the process. Oh, and that remod has a crosshair. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Thanks for watching, and a big thanks to these benefactors for supporting the channel. Alexi, Unknows98, Unusual, Taylor, The One Epic Player, Maddie160p, Joseph Stalin, Raccoon Eggs, 404 Not Found, Potato King, Corby, Needup, Deadex, Evox, Flaming Oddball, Paris1911, The Geeler, ATSF GP30, Hawk, A Normal Street Lamp, Mistress Pabon, Geode, Nobody Important, Tia Stromer, Scary Stalker, It's Juro, Scooms, Owie, Imperial Embers, T-Boy301, Jack5282, Lucky U, Quiltman, 501st Clone Boy, TTG, Robocop Noel, Tedosaur, Lamdre, Roadkill Walter, Fisher Grice, Hawkasol Jelen, TRR Droid, and Bipolit. Thanks again, and see you in the next one.